More than 2 weeks after the polls closed, Supreme Court judges finally confirmed what many already suspected. Africa's oldest president, 85-year-old Paul Biya, is celebrating yet another victory.
Yet another victory for Paul Biya, huh? 7 presidential elections. I don't know. If somebody wins 7 presidential elections, it feels like shenanigans are going on. What? You've been in power for 40 goddamn years? Nobody in Cameroon is more popular than Paul Biya. Paul Biya is the greatest goddamn Cameroonian ever live. Well, Francis Ngannou is a little bit stronger, I would think. He's the champion, right? Paul Biya is the dictator of Cameroon for the last 40 fucking years. Sham election after sham election after sham election. Don't even talk to me about no goddamn Nicaragua or Venezuela until you talk to me about Paul Biya in Cameroon and Lukashenko in Belarus. So, November 11th, 2021, another girl was killed. Another girl was killed. That's not something anybody should be saying. Another girl in the Nekwin area, you'd think, you know, Francis Ngannou would actually say something about this. He's the champion of the world. How come the champ can't seem to speak out for his own people who are screaming in pain, living under the dictatorship? Like I said, Paul Biya is the dictator of Cameroon for 40 fucking years. 7 presidential elections. FDR only won, what, 4 presidential elections? But Paul Biya, nah, he's the creme de la creme, right? U.S. troops, we got Paul Biya's back. We got Paul Biya's back. Why are we on the side of the dictatorship of Cameroon? I'd like to reassure you that the police officer who fired the shot is already under arrest. After investigations, he would be severely punished if indeed it is his gun and his shooting that are responsible for the death of this young girl who was on her way home from school. We are waiting for the result of the autopsy. It happened on Friday, November 11th at about 12:30 in the Nekwin area. Some residents expressed worry about their safety in the town. Every father who sees this situation cannot stand by and watch. That's what happened in V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta says that the oppression can only go on for so long before it was a police officer killed a kid. November 11th, Friday, 12:30 in the Nekwin area. Schools and economic activity have completely shut down in the Bamenda, an English-speaking city in western Cameroon, after police had opened fire, killing an 8-year-old girl. Several hundred irate residents took to the streets protesting the killing, while armed separatists have launched attacks on government forces, calling on the military to leave Bamenda. Another girl, 8-year-old girl, November 2021 in the city of Bamenda, Cameroon. So Tataw Brandy, Tataw, T-A-T-A-W. So R.I.P. Tataw. R.I.P. Tataw. Cameroonian civilians marched with the girl's dead body, calling for justice to be served. This is what started the revolution in V for Vendetta. A cop killed a kid, and then revolution happened. And revolution, of course, is just self-defense of a nation. Self-defense is intelligence. So it's intelligent for a nation to defend itself too. Police said in a statement that residents are protesting Friday's killing of 8-year-old Tataw Brandy by a police officer in Bamenda. According to the statement signed by Cameroon's police chief Martin Mibarga Nguli, police want to immobilize a suspected vehicle, and a bullet mistakenly hit and killed the 8-year-old. Deben Tishafo, governor of the Northwest region, said he gave instructions, and the police officer suspected to have opened fire that killed the girl was arrested. He said investigations have been opened to determine whether the bullet that killed the girl was actually from the police officer's rifle. To Chofo said he was pleading with civilians to not heed calls by separatists to close schools and businesses as a sign of discontent over what they consider military and police brutality towards civilians. In northwest Cameroon, Paul Biya's Tonton Makuts were chasing the pickup truck, and the 7-year-old girl was walking home from school, a 2nd grader, 3rd grader. Great job, America. Look what you did, you little jerk. You killed a 2nd grader. Paul Biya is a terrible dictator. U.S. forces are in Cameroon right now. Paul Biya's totalitarian fascist Cameroon, we're helping with his totalitarian fascism by putting our heads in the sand when they commit atrocities against English-speaking Africans. Ambazonian? Are we fighting Boko Haram, or are we fighting Ambazonia? Are we fighting the English-speaking Cameroonians? Because I am not in favor of that. It needs to be very clear to me that we're only there to fight Boko Haram, not Ambazonia. Paul Biya's goons need to leave Bamenda right now. They need to be ousted and toppled. He's the worst thing for Cameroon. Paul Biya needs to just go live in France. He's always vacationing there. Just go live in France forever. We are saying until Cameroon stops killing our children and withdraws their soldiers back to their own territory, there will be no schooling in Ambazonia. We got to stop lamenting and begin to act and let the world see the outrage in us, he said. I add my voice to deplore such acts and urge all parties to the crisis to exercise maximum caution and avoid civilian casualties. Parties to the conflict must adhere to the international humanitarian law and keep children out of harm's way. Spare the population from all this trauma and panic, Waza said. Separatists have been fighting since 2017 to create a breakaway English-speaking state in the majority French-speaking country. You got 25 million people that live in Cameroon, 25 million people, and 5 million are English speakers. The separatists complain of marginalization, discrimination by the French-speaking majority. The United Nations says that the fighting has displaced more than 500,000 people and killed more than 3,000 civilians. Civilians! That's compared to 16,000 to 50,000 killed in the Tigray Ethiopian war. So that conflict is worse in terms of body count, but 3,000 civilians ain't nothing to sniff at. 25 million people live in Cameroon. Douala is the largest city. Yaoundé is the capital of Cameroon. Yaoundé. Douala is the largest city on Cameroon. Paul Biya's Cameroon. They've been doing a bunch of shit. This isn't the first time that they've killed kids. They've went into a school and killed kids. They've been throwing transgendered and gay folks into jail. Paul Biya's Cameroon has been waging war on the English speakers in Cameroon, which make up 20% of the population and responsible for 3,500 people being killed in the past 4 years in the southwest, northwest regions of Cameroon. So the U.S., my government, has troops in Paul Biya's Cameroon. We got a drone program there to apparently help fight Boko Haram, but also we're propping up a corrupt anti-democratic dictatorship, a totalitarian fascist dictatorship. So many bullshit elections, sham elections after sham elections. Cameroon is ripe for the taking. This could be one good goal for the empire. Save Cameroon, topple Paul Biya in the name of freedom and democracy. Help the English-speaking Africans out. They've been fighting the Anglophone war for 4 years now actively. But since 1972, English Cameroonians have wanted to have their own independent country since, 1970, for 50 fucking years. So Ambazonia is serious about their independence. They're serious about their African tribal nation from getting out from underneath the fascist Buddha Paul fucking shithead Biya. I'm on the side of the English-speaking Africans. I'm on the side of the trans and the gay folks of the oppressed of the Northwest and Southwest English-speaking Africans of Ambazonia. I am Ambazonia. Fuck you, Paul Biya. Fucking